Hello and welcome to Supercharge Your Health and Wellness Business, the masterclass series for learning how to attract your ideal clients online, create a buzzworthy reputation, and build a thriving practice. This is the place for advice and strategies that are going to take you towards growing a fully booked practice. I'm your host, Louise Manzer, and today we have the brilliant Leesa Klich. Welcome, Leesa.
Thank you. Hey, thanks, Louise and everybody. Hi, everyone.
Let me introduce you to Leesa. So Leesa helps credible health and wellness professionals build their authority with strategically planned and easy to read research-based health articles. She works with people who want to stand out in the crowded, often unqualified market of entrepreneurs. She helps them build a reputable brand, establish trust with their audiences, and save them a ton of time so they don't have to do the research or writing themselves.
Yay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about quality over quantity when it comes to building and writing your blog. But before we jump into that, can you tell us just a bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. It's I always find it interesting to find out how entrepreneurs got to where they are, because it's usually a very different path that all leads us in this direction. For me, in a nutshell, I was a scientist. And then I went to nutrition school, became a nutritionist, and then I started blogging, and then I started content marketing. And the reason for this kind of convoluted path is because when I was writing for researchers, for doctors and for regulators, I mean, the writing was good, but they're not people who read blogs. Like, you have to, it took me a while to learn that I can't keep writing like that on the internet, because people don't know what you're talking about, and you have to relate to people, and you have to be kind of translate that knowledge. It's knowledge translation, because science is not English. We all know that. And so translating it to blogging was my first big step, where I learned how to speak English, explain things well, and provide value for people. And then after doing health writing for a while on the internet, I realized that I could write the best blog in the world, but if nobody finds it and nobody shares it, nobody engages with it, of what value is it really to have when you're investing in your business for somebody to write for your blog? So that's when I jumped into content marketing. So I learned SEO and promotion techniques and calls to action and engagement and all of those things. So it's kind of a combination of the science with the content creation, the blogging, and then making sure, you know, your blogs are going to be marketed and market your business for you. So it's those three is kind of my path.
Awesome. So we're going to be talking about blogging. So what is a blog and why should everyone have one on their website?
Right. So a blog is kind of a part of your website. Your fundamental foundational part for your website is your main site, your home page, your about page, your work with me page. All of that stuff is really important to have for your website. It is the foundation for a business that uses the internet. The blog, on the other hand, is more, I'd say it's a little more casual. It's more personable. It's more valuable. It's actually more valuable for potential ideal clients. So for example, you have on your main website pages, you have your credentials and how you help people and that you relate to them, and these are the programs and products you have for sale, and all of those are really important for your business. But that's not what people are Googling. People are Googling, what do I eat when I was just diagnosed with celiac disease? Or, you know, what is a low FODMAPs food? Like, people are looking for really understandable, relatable information. And that is what gets updated regularly. So your about page, you might update every couple of months a little bit. Your blog, you could post something new. And when I say blog, I don't want to limit it to just a written blog. You can apply everything that I'm saying to a podcast or to a vlog. So the idea is it's content for your ideal clients to attract them, and then they get to your blog and they find out which foods are low in FODMAPs, and then they download your infographic on the, you know, the best foods without FODMAPs, or recipe book for people who have celiac disease. So once you have them on your email list, then you can start marketing to them through email marketing. So it's kind of content that is a foundation for content marketing. And it helps your clients by providing them valuable information for free. And you're providing this information for anybody on the internet, but you're specifically answering questions that your ideal clients have. So you're attracting them, you're pulling them out of the random parts of the internet to your blog and your website and your opt-in for your email list.
Yes, absolutely. So someone's thinking of this and they're thinking about the blog that they've got. Maybe they already have a few posts on there. Maybe they're thinking about starting one. What mistakes do you see people making when it comes to their blog?
I think that one of the biggest mistakes in health and wellness particularly is that people are not promoting their stuff enough. So I think that the whole quantity, I'll start touching on the quality versus quantity here, because when we're really proud of something, when we create something awesome, we're very proud to promote it. We want to share it, we want everyone to see it. And when you put a blog post up, you put a lot of effort into that. Whether you write it yourself or record it yourself or buy it or whatever you do, wherever you get that content, it's an effort, it's an investment in your business. So you want to get it out there. You want people to find it. You want to send your email people, your email subscribers to it. You want to send all of your social media followers to it. And you want to do that lots of times because the reach on social media is so low. It's so low now. So sending something out to all of your followers on the day you publish, individual and unique posts on your social media channels that all point back to the same blog post. So your blog post is kind of like your foundation of your content, like the valuable information you provide for free. And then you want to point all these things to it to attract people to read it and benefit from it, and then build your trust with your audience over time. So I think that, I don't know, I have a theory, I have a hypothesis that if we had content that we were super proud of, that was awesome, that reflected our excellence, I think that we would probably be a little bit more apt and proud to share it far and wide. So I almost think that it's almost like a 2-for-1 deal. If you're not sharing your stuff a lot, which all of the content marketing people do, the entrepreneurs, the marketing experts online, the business, they know how to promote and share their stuff. I want health and wellness people to know how to promote and share their stuff in the same way I'm seeing in other industries. And I think that having quality content is really important because it gives us that, I don't know, I know when I write something that I love, I'm way more proud to share it than if I like slap something together just to get it done, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing that I see.
I love it. Mari Smith, who's like well known for Facebook, she says that content is king, but engagement is queen, and she rules the house. So you get that's the same. Like you can create the stuff, but you've got to promote it. You know, 20% of your time on writing it, and 80% of your time on promoting it.
Yes, I've heard that before. I heard that from Derek Halpern from Social Triggers as well. It's like you want to create something awesome, but you gotta get don't let it collect dust.
Yeah,
and get it out there often. That's awesome.
And you don't have to. It doesn't just have to be. You don't have to like say you write something in August, you don't just have to spend like the first week of August promoting it. You can come back to it in November, and you can come back to it again in January. Like,
yep.
I totally schedule them. Done.
Exactly. Never one and done. Always schedule. Like when I'll just give a secret. When I write a blog post, I create 9 social media posts for it. 9, all unique social media posts. You know, maybe a different image, different caption, different quote, different excerpt. And I schedule them out to go out for a year. So
that's almost one a month.
Yeah, it's almost one a month. There's a lot at the beginning. So in like the first month, there's like 5. And then like every other month after that, because if what I'm writing about is going to be as relevant a year from now, maybe not 2 years or 3 years from now, but 1 year from now, why would I not want people to see it? And it helps with the social media strategy to have things done in advance, right? So I'm also batch creating as well. While the blog post is top of mind, you know, once you've done it and you've written it and edited and published it, you have all these ideas on, oh, I love this paragraph. I'm going to pull this out and, you know, turn it into a tweet or, you know, Pinterest or whatever for it. So and then it fills up your content, your social media calendar as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that.
Is an awesome tip. That is and such a time saver as well, because you're right, when you've done it and it's fresh, that is the time to, because it saves you so much time. Like 6 months down the line, you're thinking, oh, what do I post this week? Oh, let me just go through my past posts. Yeah, that is a great tip.
Yeah.
So what, in that case, what makes a good blog? Obviously the promotion side of things, but what else makes a good blog, and how can people increase the quality of their blog?
Right. I'm going to say that a lot of people are blogging like it's 2016, which is not that long ago, but things change so fast online, right? Nobody heard of coronavirus, or very few people were Googling coronavirus, you know, 6 months ago. So things move quickly. And when it comes to online marketing, there's something called content shock, if you've heard it. And what is there's so much content out there now, right? Like the days of starting a blog and ranking high on Google and getting all this traffic are, I mean, it's
plus decades.
It's a mountain now, right? Yeah, like it's not like it was before. So you're never going to rank on like a 500-word post or a generic post that doesn't answer a specific question, right? There are so many things that you can do to elevate your blog quality. So one, and you know what? Another secret is, if you want to invest in quality content, you don't need to publish something every single week or multiple times a week. I swear, if it is easier to spend 2 weeks creating something awesome, it's probably more worthwhile than having 2 okay-ish posts or an okay-ish post every week. I really think quality trumps quantity. So the length of your post is actually an indicator. There was a study, and I wish I had looked it up right before we spoke, so I can't remember exactly. It was a couple of years ago, that looked at all of the top 10 posts in a number of categories. And I believe the shortest one was like 1,200 words. So you're aiming for 1,200, 1,500 at least words, because you want to be an awesome answer to that question that your ideal clients are Googling, right? So you want to be an amazing answer that's going to show them the excellent work that you do and how much you care about your clients and their success. But it's also going to be better than most of the other stuff out there, because there's so much stuff out there. People are shocked with the amount of content. They don't know where to go. That having something over and above is really key, even if you don't have to have it every single week. That's one way. Another way that I love doing recently is having a content upgrade. So you have a blog post, and you have, as I mentioned before, people, you know, who want to know about FODMAPs, but guess what? They're going to download your guide or your infographic or your recipe book on low FODMAPs foods. So if you have an opt-in that relates directly to that piece of content, it could be as simple as copying it into a document, doing small edits, turning it into a PDF download. Like, it doesn't have to be extensive. When you're putting the effort into making something awesome, get as much out of it as you can. Turn it into a PDF, turn it into social media posts galore, turn it into at least one email, like use it as much as possible. So, another thing, images. So we used to do 1 image per blog post. And recent research shows that ideal blog posts, or ones that get a lot of engagement and rank well and have people stay on the page longer, have an image every 350 words.
Wow.
So add more images.
So if you've got one that's 1,200, you're looking at like four images.
Yeah, 3 or 4 images. Right? And there's so many amazing places to get images and make images yourself, like brand them. So accessibility for these things is easier than it ever was, which also means a lot of other people are doing it. So that's why you want to stand out. I mean, the health and wellness, the wellness industry, last check was over $4 trillion. Like, it's bigger than pharma drugs. It is massive. So you want to show people that you're different. You want to, know your audience really well, create amazing content that relates to them, and that also incentivizes them to download your things and join your email list and attract your ideal clients. So it's a great opportunity because the pie just keeps getting bigger every year. Like, I think the Global Wellness Institute does an industry review every other year, and every year is getting bigger. Like, it's over 4 trillion now. So there's a lot of opportunity. Like, it's an amazing time. That
is totally true. So so now they know how long it should be. They know they need images every 350 words. It's an amazing tip. I have not heard that before. Thank you so much for sharing that. How do they decide what to blog about? If they sat there with their blank paper going, what do I do now? How do they decide what to write?
Right. There's so many ways. One is to answer people's questions. When people find you, when you chat with your ideal clients, when you have people who are in your paid programs and such, what are they asking? Because if they're an ideal client and they're asking you a question, that is the perfect topic to blog about, because that will attract more of your ideal clients who are asking the exact same question. So that's a key tip. Really knowing your audience and what they're looking for is probably the number one by far tip on what to blog about, because you want to be known as the resource for people who have that problem. You are the de facto expert go-to solution. Other than that, there's a ton of different ways to get ideas for it. Are there any health or food awareness days coming up that you want to kind of write? So if something is near and dear to your heart or resonates extremely well with your business or your audience's issues, then jump on that, create something amazing for that particular, week or month. And have something there, have a lot of social media booked out for that as well. That's a cool one. Also, knowing what problems people have when they're going through your program. So people come to you with a problem initially, but then we give them advice and our best information. We all want people to get healthier. That is why we are where we are. But then there's going to be roadblocks. There's going to lead to something else. It's going to lead to another question. It's going to lead to another thing. So we want to help people throughout the customer journey on all different levels when we're creating content, because we might be attracting people who are just diagnosed, for example, but maybe we're attracting people who are just bored of what they've been doing before. Right? So it's kind of good to look at it from different angles. I do have a download on my site with over 60 health and wellness blog ideas. And actually a tip is that was one with a content upgrade. It's a blog post with a content upgrade. So please get your best post or your best few posts and create something specific download for them. But there's a ton of ideas on there. I mean, things about you, why you went into business, how you help people. There's so many things to consider. And I find that people either have no ideas or they have a million ideas and they don't know what to choose. So if you have a bunch of ideas on what to choose, what to blog about next, start with your marketing calendar. Like, are you going to be promoting or launching something soon? If so, maybe you post a case study on somebody who's gone through the program before, or maybe you answer a bunch of questions. You can use your blog as part of obviously your marketing program for your programs, to warm your audience up and let them know that something is coming up in your business. So it's nice to have a plan and a strategy on when you're going to be marketing certain things, so you can plan I keep doing this because I use a spreadsheet for all kinds of things. So I'm visualizing myself putting every week in its own row, and the calendar going. So anyways, so sorry about my hand gestures, but yeah, I think in tables and it's weird. But what was I going to say? So yeah, there's choosing an idea. Keep your business in mind. Keep in mind that this isn't a hobby blog, unless it is. If it is, then awesome for you. But I'm thinking that most health professionals who are doing this for their business. So if you want to have a bit more business strategy, think of your promotional calendar. Think of any special dates that are coming up, even if it's your business anniversary, if you're going to be, doing a promotion or anything, or if you're in a summit and you're going to be doing a promotion, think about what would lead up to that. And then think about questions your audience has and how timely they are for where you are in your calendar right now. I'd say that of course, what is happening in the news? Like if a new study comes out and everyone's like, oh my God, up in arms, everyone's talking about it. And this is your area of expertise and your niche, chime in, create something that is so timely that's going on right now, because it will help you get in front of your ideal clients who are also talking about, the same study or the same thing that's happening in the world these days. And of course, you can always go with your inspiration, right? Something happened, you saw, something when you were out hiking, and it just made you think of something that made you think of something. You have this great idea and you want to share it, because sometimes those blog posts, I'll be honest, that aren't planned, that are from the heart, that aren't like thoroughly researched with 17 PubMed studies behind them. Sometimes you got to sprinkle those in, because you need personality. You need to connect, and you need to just be like, I'm putting my marketing calendar on hold. I wouldn't recommend doing this every week, but like once in a while, you're putting your marketing calendar on hold, and you're like, I'm so inspired to talk about this one thing. And it can resonate really well and attract a lot of ideal clients.
It's funny you say that, actually, because last week, so where I live, our house backs onto some woods. This is totally like off topic, but anyway, our house backs onto some woods, so we often get spiders, and I'm not a big spider fan. And I was in bed and I looked up and I could see this one creeping, it like crept in through the window, and I was like, to my other half, I said, Nick, there's a spider's come in. And so we've got the spider catcher. I think it's on the arm with it's got a grabber on it and like these bristles, and it's really good. You can grab the spider, and then you pick it like you're at this end of the arm, but like you pick up the spider and then you can take it out and you can drop it outside the door. And it doesn't hurt the spider. Yeah, it doesn't hurt the spider. But this spider was fast. It was so fast, and it went under the bed, and we couldn't get it out. We couldn't find it. We lost it, and we have not found the spider since. So I was like, that night, I was like, do I sleep with the light on? Like, what do I do? So never mind. So that got me thinking. Sure, I can segue this into something about marketing, and you're trying your best, and the thing just gets away from you, and you're trying, and it just doesn't happen. So that's what I'm going to write about this week. So yeah, just like a personal story, and you're like, man, there's a spider under my bed and I can't find it.
Yeah, that is so true. It's so, starting off a blog post with this personal story is like, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really engaging, isn't it? Because people love stories.
And connecting the spider to the marketing is like brilliant. I love it. I can't wait to read it.
And the other thing that you mentioned that was really good was awareness days and weeks, which are, I used to use them in my old job. I tell my clients to use them because they're like a great tactic to like increase your reach, get in front of more people, and also a lot of them also provide loads of content for you to use to promote their awareness week. So they will provide, a lot of them provide free social media posts. They may even provide like free press releases or free articles and blogs that you can then take and tweak and alter and do what you want with them. Like, and they've done the job for you. So it's so easy just to kind of latch onto that and promote yourself alongside their awareness week. Yeah, they're a great tool.
Yay.
So you've talked about how often we should be blogging. So it doesn't have to be every week, because that's something that's, so when it comes to thinking about topics, and if you've got loads of topics and you're all sorted, but what about if you have, you've looked at your analytics, you've looked at your Google Analytics, and you've looked at kind of what your popular blog posts are, what can you do with that data to then create more things from that? So you know that's what your audience is looking for. Can you then create more things from that?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite things to do. I don't write everything from scratch every week. 100% repurpose. So for example, if you have an amazing blog post that's ranking well, is driving in a ton of traffic, keep it updated. Update it every 6 to 12 months. You don't have to update it a lot. You don't have to like rejig it. Add a few more points, add a few more images, you know, maybe check the keyword and republish it with the same URL, because don't change the URL. If you're doing well on Google, you're not changing your URL. It could be some random URL, but if it's working, don't change it, but change the date. So it comes up as a new post. You just saved yourself hours potentially, but also you're being consistent in your messaging, and you're providing even more value to people who thought that was already awesomely valuable in the first place. So update your blog post. I take any post that I have that's over a year old and I look at them, and whenever I don't have anything scheduled for that week, you know, that spreadsheet in the air that I'm seeing, whenever I don't have something particularly scheduled for that week, I'll look at all my blog posts that are over a year old. I'll start from like the end of my blog and work backwards, pick one and update it. You know, make sure the branding is right, the positioning is right, the introduction is good, maybe add a few more references. You don't have to spend hours, 100%. Don't, just because you published it like in 2016 doesn't mean it has to stay there. If it's still relevant, or else make it more relevant and update the date so it looks new. Another thing is, as health providers, we have content. Like we have things that we learned at school. We have programs that we might be selling, or products or other things. Take that and tweak it into a blog post. Take some of those, the content that you already have that's not in a blog, or again, a vlog or podcast, whatever. Take what you have and turn it into a post, so you're not starting from scratch. I love doing this because it allows you to, you're not staring at a blank screen. You're not looking at a blank piece of paper. You already have a good foundation, and you just need to kind of massage it a bit and maybe, you know, shine it up and then publish it. So get old blog posts to update, and any other content you have that's not in a blog format. Oh my God, you can transcribe videos you've done. Get videos you've done, transcribe it, edit it into a blog post. I do this because I'm picturing the Google Doc in front of my eyes. And then you have a blog post, right? Like
that's so easy as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's automatic transcribing platforms that you can use that do the
It's
work
amazing.
for you, and you just have to edit it.
Yep. I just had that idea right now. So yeah, totally. It's so worth it. So you don't need to start from scratch. You're right. Even, you know, charities and other organizations that have special days, they are looking for they provide promotional materials. Like use what you can. There's so many places to get. There's other places to get blog posts, but like you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to do it every week. I promise. Do something really good, even if it's every other week, and promote the heck out of it. That's really bringing blogging into 2019 and 2020, because before that it was all about consistency, and now there's so much content out there because everyone is being so consistent, but there's just so much out there that you can't compete on quantity anymore. You got to do something awesome, something good, even if it takes twice as long to just do half as many.
That's true. Now, what if somebody doesn't have time to do that kind of in-depth writing every fortnight, every month? Can they use a copywriter? How can they get around that?
There's a few ways to get posts where you don't even have to do the updating and repurposing. One is through guest posting. Now, I'm going to give a little tips on guest posting. If you are, because I see it done wrong all the time. If you're gonna request a guest poster, they're providing content for you for free out of their time and effort. So what you want to do to make sure before you invite people to post on your blog is that you have the same audience. So you're going to help them reach people who they're trying to reach, that you're not directly competing with each other. You're not selling the same or similar programs and products and services, and that you will promote the heck out of it so that you'll help, you know, repay them and make their time worth it, if they're going to be providing content for you from scratch. Another thing is you could always swap guest posts, which is I mean, you're putting in the effort, but you're getting something different for your audience. You can even do an interview like this. Like nobody's committed to doing only written or only video or only audio. Invite people to chat with you, and you can publish that. You can buy it. You can hire a freelance writer. You can hire health writers. You can hire health bloggers to create something for you from scratch. And the other way is to use done for you content, where you have content that's kind of pre-written, but you take it and you kind of tweak it to your brand, and you make it sound like you, and you add in your pictures, and have a unique title, and make whatever little things you need to do, and then publish that. So there's a ton of ways. I mean, even record yourself talking and get it transcribed.
Yeah.
So there's true. Like, content is as hard or as easy as you make it, because there really are a ton of solutions out there that could help.
You can even do something just like, I often use audio transcribing on my phone. If I'm like, right, this is like even just text, just for a text message. So you can just do that with like a Google Doc or, whatever notes app you have on your phone. And you can just talk into it while you're like in the car, or if you're walking somewhere, you can just do it that way. So there's ways around it as well.
Yeah, and it's important to be yourself, right? So part of the standing out and getting over this content shock is being excellent, reflecting a brand, knowing your people, but it's also being yourself. It's like, you know what, I only like writing, so I am not going to be doing podcasts, or I like to do my lives unscripted, or whatever. Like, whatever works for you is going to attract your ideal clients who are going to want to work with somebody like you. So being yourself is important.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that I've not asked you that you want to cover about blogging today? Have I missed anything?
Tough question, because we covered a lot of stuff. I'm going to say some words of encouragement that actually this ties into the course that everybody is getting. If you've done it, if you've done your blog, or you're resistant to starting, or you've done it and you haven't seen much success, there are some key things that can help go farther. And I really think that one of them that we covered is like promoting the heck out of it, like we're saying. But it can be easy. It can be infrequent. It should still be regular. Like, don't, blog once now and then once in March. Like, it should be consistent, even if it's every other week or something. But content marketing is changing. Health and wellness is growing. So keep the industry and the best practices right now in mind, and see what resonates with you on how to do it that will work for you. Because things that may not have worked in the past may work now, or things that you never really wanted to do before, or maybe you want to change, maybe you don't want to do it anymore, or maybe you want to start doing something different. So try something, like try doing something that's going to work for you, and see what happens. Because if it could be as simple as just you're not promoting as much as you should, maybe that's it. Or maybe here's another cool trick: if you have old blog posts that are in the shorter side and they're related to each other, put them together into one new post, and then you have a larger post that you're not writing from scratch. So I mean, I feel like I have my creativity hat on right now. Like, oh, we could do this, or we could do that, or there's so many ideas. There's so many ways to make it work for you, that I think that it's kind of it's a great time to be in health and wellness and content marketing right now. And I'm super pumped about what the future is going to hold with it, because people, especially with the pandemic, they're home and they're on the internet. Like, they're searching for things. They're searching for you. They're searching for help and answers to their problems. And, being available and ready to help people who are looking for you is the key to not having to cold call everyone or pay for advertising all of the time.
Absolutely. So I know you've got a free gift to share with everyone today. Could you tell us a bit about what it is?
Yeah, it's a mini course on blogging must-haves. So It's got some tips. It's really easy to digest and it's really easy to implement. So I would recommend, 3 of the things I talk about in it are how to increase your traffic. So to get more people to see your posts, as that was a realization for me after becoming a health writer, that I need to figure out how to get people to read and find the posts. We talk about engagement. So how to get people to sign up for your email and using calls to action so that your blog post doesn't just, people just kind of read it and leave, like you want to engage them. And the last part was, oh my gosh, and conversions, right? So how's it going to market your business? Because I mean, as all of us are health experts, you know, we have the health kind of down pat. And then the next thing layer onto that is, how do I use my knowledge to build my business by marketing to my ideal client? So it's a super easy to digest course. It's free. And if you implement the tips on there, it won't take long and it's done. Then, you know, hopefully you'll start to see that your blog is working a little bit better for you than it was before, because I try to bring a lot of strategies from the content marketing world into the health and wellness world. So we can all get on the bandwagon.
That's awesome. Like, I don't think anyone else is offering a mini course, so that's fantastic. Thank you. What a great gift. How long did it take to go through the content in the mini course?
I didn't check. I think it's less than an hour.
Oh,
like,
okay,
I think
perfect.
it's like a master class. I can't remember the exact thing.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's not
totally doable.
It's not in depth, right? No, it's totally doable, and it's like basic stuff that all of the, you know, business and content marketers are doing. That let's get the health and wellness people doing it, because we all want the world to be healthier, like now more than ever, right? Yeah. So we got to get ourselves out there.
Brilliant. What a great gift. Thank you, Leesa. And thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for sharing so many like tips and things that you shared. That was fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. It's my pleasure.
For those of you that are joining us, don't forget to come and join us in the Facebook group, where we've got some competitions and some lovely prizes for you to win. And we'll also be diving into the details into Leesa's topic. So come and join us there, and I will see you on the next masterclass.